Well, we are on a new frontier for artificial intelligence, or AI as it's called, and apparently chatbots, that's CHATBOTS, are encouraging sexual solicitation, self-harm, and violence against family members and worse.
Two families, in fact, are suing one company called Character AI. ABC News correspondent Jim Ryan is joining us live. And boy, good morning, Jim. First of all, tell us about what is this chatbot?
Well, these chatbots are extremely realistic sounding companions, if you will, Jayme. And I've heard the voices, and they sound exactly like a voice, and that can have an actual conversation with a person. And you're seeing these increasingly built into other products, other devices now. And yes, you can sign up with Character AI and start a conversation with somebody who sounds very much like a human being, but isn't a human being. You can give it a name, give it a personality, give it a voice, man, woman, British, English, whatever, and start this conversation. Well,
it's like an imaginary friend, but
yes,
that has a real voice.
It does.
Okay.
And has kind of a personality, if you will, and comes up with original thoughts and ideas. And unfortunately for some folks, those ideas might not have been so healthy. There's an organization that's devoted to filing lawsuits against this. The Social Media Victims Law Center, Jayme, has filed suit against one company, Character AI, related to a couple of cases. One here in Texas, a 17-year-old autistic boy who signed up with Character AI. His parents didn't know it when he was 15 years old. And according to the family, he was convinced to harm himself, which he did. A case out of Florida involved an Orlando 14-year-old who his family said took his own life after building a relationship with this person, or what he thought was a person, online.
This is incredibly scary. And so what's at the center of this legal action by these two families of these two other teenagers that have filed lawsuit?
Well, similar complaints, Peter, that the Character AI product, if you will, has convinced their kids to do things they wouldn't otherwise have done, to harm themselves or to think about harming other people. Also complaints that Character AI presents images, sexually explicit images or inappropriate images to kids. And so the attorneys are demanding either that the product be pulled off the shelf altogether, or that it be made available to people 18 and older only. Right now, if you're 13 years old, you can sign up for an account.
Wow. Now, how long has Character AI been around, and why hasn't anybody noticed this before?
Oh, I think people have noticed it. And I think, we've been hearing about this for the last couple of years, and that you can sign up with somebody and have this conversation. The critics say that these lawsuits are just kind of a money grab on the part of these families. They're an attempt to find simple answers to mental health issues that their kids may be having. And Character AI, for its part, now has changed its policies, Jayme. So every time someone starts a conversation, a user starts a conversation with a chatbot, that user is reminded, this is not a human being you're talking to. This is it's technology. It's AI.
But it's still scary because, people will likely disregard that warning. Hey, this disclaimer, which could be considered very weak, and perhaps teenagers are simply too young and adults are simply too naive because this technology is relatively new to understand how it can manipulate them.
Well, that's true. And again, I mean, the jury's still out, quite literally, or will be, I think, when this goes to trial, as to whether, people can be influenced in this way. I mean, the mother of the 14-year-old in Orlando says that her child was kind of groomed into this relationship. He had a name for the chatbot, Daenerys. He had this whole personality built up that this chatbot was his little sister. They would have, nice conversations, brotherly, sisterly kinds of conversations. But at some point, the kid just went off the deep end and took his own life.
Oh, that's terrible.
Yeah, it really is. And so, I think the whole industry, it's like the wild, wild west. It really is.
Yes, it is. And especially with brains that are still forming.
Right.
And a lot of times you have teens who are looking for acceptance, looking for friends, wanting somebody in their lives like that. So as a parent, advice for any parent or family member whose teens may be experimenting with chatbots?
Well, just stay in the loop. Keep that line of communication open with your kids to ensure that you do know what they're doing on social media and what they're doing in terms of these chatbots. If they have a friendship with somebody out there that isn't an actual human being, I think that's really the heart of it all. I mean, very often it's the parents providing the kids with the devices that allow them to build these relationships or reach out and have these products. I mean, and so it's the parents' responsibility, I think, to regulate that.
We're talking to ABC News correspondent Jim Ryan. And Jim, it's always good to monitor who your kids are talking to online anyway, but even with these AIs. So thank you very much.
And maybe more so.
Exactly, right? Yeah, two families suing a company called Character AI because they are claiming that these things are promoting self-harm. ABC's Jim Ryan, thanks so much. Merry Christmas, Jim.
Thank you, Jayme.
All right, we'll talk to you soon.
Thanks for watching Arizona's Morning News. Click to watch more from KTAR News and hit the button in the middle to subscribe.